Hey guys, and welcome back to the Natty Blueprint podcast. This is episode 26. We are back with the champ himself. Denny obviously competed on the weekend. It's currently the 30th of May, but he competed, 4 days ago, 5 days ago on
Yeah.
Sunday. Placed third in a class of 12, in a very good class of 12 as well. And it's good to have you on the podcast now, mate. Back. You're now officially a bodybuilder. So how are you
I'm
feeling?
I'm an athlete now. Yeah, it's been mad. It's been mad. Like in hindsight, I'm glad it's happened this way, in a weird roundabout way. But yeah, the day was like I felt great afterwards. I think that come across quite apparent.
Yeah.
I was gassed. I know it's only third, but to me that's first place. So yeah, it was mad. It was a great day.
I mean, like, everyone strives to win, bro. Like, everyone wants to win, but like top three in your first show, there's not many people who do that. Like,
Yeah,
a lot of people don't place. Like, there was another nine people there's top five they placed in it. So
yeah.
there's six people who didn't place, and like in your first show to come away and do that is mega. So I'm super proud of you, mate. I know you're very proud of yourself, and obviously we go again next Saturday, which is very, very exciting.
We do indeed.
And so brilliant stuff. He's now officially a bodybuilder, so he can now give prep advice.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
I'll get people on stage next. But yeah, no,
anyway,
like the day was just mad. Like I exceeded my expectations. I had like a minimum expectation, which was just first call out, but I didn't really talk about that much. That would have been like, okay, I'm happy with that. And then when I was third, I was like, chill. Obviously, it would have been nice to get first or second. That's even better, of course. But when I was third, like when they put me into that position, I was like, shit, I'm here. Like I'm actually in the mix here. And yeah, like inside, it probably distracted me a little bit, but I was just like, wow, I've actually done it.
yeah, yeah. And you got good feedback as well,
Yeah.
off the You Could FBA podcast. Funny enough, when you sent me that yesterday, I watched the whole podcast the day before,
Oh, okay.
and I already knew, and I was actually going to bring it up to you here.
Yeah.
But obviously, yeah, head judge said that you caught his eye, which is always a really good start, and if you
Yeah.
can kind of carry that now and we can make the improvements into the next show, it's going to be very, very exciting, mate. So,
Yeah.
yeah, onwards we go from here.
Yeah. I noticed that on the day as well. I can't remember what his name is.
Christian.
Uh, Christian. Yeah. On the day, I noticed him point at me. I was like, okay, like we're there, sort of thing. So yeah, it was nice that he actually said that on that podcast as well,
Yeah.
which has given me a bit more confidence as well. So I think that's always been a bit of an issue for myself. I don't put myself up as highly as I maybe should, and I probably never will. Um, so we'll see what the next show brings. Maybe that'll help, depending on where we place. But I've got a bit of a funny story, which you'll know about it after I explain it. So, do you know I said my badge number, if I get 27 or 72, it's written in the stars and I'm winning.
Yeah.
Guess what number the winner was?
72.
72. How mad is that?
That is crazy, isn't it?
And
That
I
is,
was 71, so I was one off, which would have been cool if I was in second place. But
yeah.
yeah,
That is, yeah, because I remember literally you saying, "Oh, I hope it's 27 or 72."
72, yeah.
Mad.
Which I'm not like a woo woo hippie person, but I thought that was just pretty strange.
Yeah, that is weird.
Um,
Your number's gonna be very high for the next one, especially
yeah,
in the last
so
class.
we'll see.
Yeah,
I'll pick
it'll
out
be
another number.
Badger 100 and something. Hopefully it's 127.
Yeah, we'll go with 127, or I don't know, one. It's not going to be 172. There's not going to be that many people, is there? So yeah, we'll go 127. So if I'm 127, I'm winning.
Oh dear. Anyway, it's going to be a good podcast. We've chucked out a few questions. And just obviously a lot of it is down to the show day itself. We've got some couple of normal pod questions as well. So yeah, I'm excited to get into it, mate. Because yeah, I think we're both just still buzzing off the weekend, to be honest.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I've just received the show day video as well from David, and which is very, very good. And it's got a lot of like emotional reactions and just the whole process of the day.
Okay.
and the day before as well. So make sure you
Yeah.
go check that out because the time this is live, that will already be live. So yeah, David has done a wicked job, and big shout out to him as well because he was a
Yeah.
bloody
Yeah.
workhorse
He
on that
did not
weekend.
stop, like producing photos for us as we was there,
Yeah,
just to keep obviously everyone in the loop and obviously capture. And I gave him a few pointers of like stuff that I wanted to visualize, and he nailed it. Like some of like you can just see how I was feeling in certain moments, and
yeah,
yeah, it captured it, which
yeah,
in a photo as well kind of speaks for itself.
yeah.
But yeah, I've not even seen a lot of it or hardly any of it. All I've got in a minute is photos, but I've already ordered photos for a frame. Like it was sick. It was so sick.
Do you know what? That's such a cool thing. Like for your first show to have that memory to look back on is just amazing. Like
Yeah,
you will always remember your first show.
yeah,
Like it will always be that one where there's just so much emotion. Like, I did exactly the same. Like as soon as I finished, got off stage on my off my first show, I cried.
yeah,
Because it's just like one of those things. Like it's just a ball of emotion. Probably a lot of nerves building up as well. Probably a
yeah,
lot of it is like, oh, thank God that's done. Rather than yeah, you obviously don't know what to expect when you're up there.
yeah,
But yeah, obviously it is an amazing feeling just kind of coming off
yeah,
stage for that first time.
yeah.
It's
And it
exhilarating.
was that as well. Like obviously before you get on, obviously you know kind of roughly who you're up against, and it was nice because the top three, so me, I think his name's Tom and Kieran, there was a bit of this like edge before we was getting on stage, which I think is kind of normal. And then we was pumping up, and then we all just started chatting, and it was quite nice because we was 70, no, yeah, I think it was 70, 71, and 72, and we was the top three, so we was all stood next to each other. And then we was like, oh, you're right, like, good luck, best luck. And then we all just started getting chatting, and it was just like a really nice kind of atmosphere afterwards. And it was like when the next person went out for that eye walk, he's like, go smash it, mate. And it was just really nice. And then we come back off, and then the same thing happened again. We was chatting for like a couple of minutes backstage, then went our separate ways. And then as I walked back into the pumping up room and then the tanning room, I was just like, just cried my eyes out.
Oh
So
mate,
yeah, it
yeah.
was.
It honestly it put a lump in my throat. I was like, oh Max, keep it together.
Yeah, literally, I was
You know?
like looking at the medal. It's like I've actually done that. I've
Yeah.
actually done it.
I've
Yeah,
actually
so
achieved it.
it was
And I
sick.
think it's just like the whole process, isn't it? Like that medal replicates the whole process and the
Yeah,
hard work and the
yeah,
determination. Yeah, it's only a medal, but
yeah. But it's got
you
a
know,
story behind, especially
it,
from like last year as well. Like for me, that piece of metal literally has almost 2 years worth of work and
yeah,
up and down in it. So yeah, it's
it'd be something you'll look up to. Like I've got my trophies here in like either side of me, and I'm like, it's something I look at, and I'm like, that was such a cool journey, and
yeah,
that was 5 years ago,
yeah, it's
so
mad.
or 6 years ago now. So yeah, yeah, very, very good day. Really happy with it. So should we crack on with some questions? I don't think I need to bore anyone with my prep, do I? No one cares about my prep at the
Unless there's
moment.
anything brand new,
Nothing's new. I
nothing's new.
dropped a shit ton of weight when I come back from the show, standard. And then my scale weight's just been rising the whole week, which is brilliant as well. Really happy about that.
Just what
Uh,
you want. Just what you want.
yeah.
Right, questions. Let's go. So we got Mr. James likes it hard Linford. Also, shout out to James on the weekend because he was very supportive. What do you think a lot of people overlook when committing to a prep?
Um, Hard work, consistency, finances, um, a good coach as well. I'd say
Yeah,
that. Like a lot of people just kind of go with whoever.
yeah.
I was
But I want
actually,
to prep. Mm.
yeah, I was actually speaking to one of the boys I go to uni with. I won't say his name, but he competed in the PCA show a couple of weeks ago. A really, really nice guy, and he actually listens to the pod. He told me the other day when I was at uni, he's like, "Oh, I've been listening to your podcast," and I was like, "That's
It's
fucking
cool.
sick." But yeah, his coach like didn't even go to his show, and I'm like,
I'm
oh,
sure.
that's such like,
Yeah.
yeah, like
Obviously, it doesn't always work out that way. Like sometimes it can't. But if it's, you'd want
it's your
your
first
coach
show,
there. It's your
first
first
ever
show.
show.
Yeah.
Like he was literally there he said with his missus and his dad, and like he literally no one else was there with him, and he was like,
Yeah,
I don't know what to do, like, and yeah, obviously the first one's always until you've got your understanding of the process,
yeah. It's
getting
just
that first
it's
one,
unnecessary stress for
yeah,
someone to not be able to manage you in front of you, sort of thing.
yeah, and I feel like as well, like if your coach is calm, it just makes you calm,
Yeah,
like.
yeah,
If you're constantly trying to get replies out of them and stuff, like I've heard of horror stories where people are literally on show day waiting hours for their coach to reply, and it's like that's just terrible, isn't it?
yeah. So it's too late, mate. I've been on stage and it was
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, it's too late. I can't. I do. I haven't eaten
I
any
didn't even get
meals
my
today.
tan.
Yeah. But yeah, like
Um,
that'd be something I'd always kind of consider when you are going to a contest prep. Um,
yeah, I'd say kind of just maybe not the intense nature of it, but knowing it is a full commitment and it's not just this, "Oh, I'm gonna prep." It's like, no, I need to have things in place, like you said, finances. You need your head to be screwed on, which I can speak firsthand, like just based off how this one went compared to last. Yeah, it's intense and it's relentless essentially. Like it's pretty much non-stop. You can't not think about it every single day, whether that's a rest day, work day, training day. The moment you wake up, you're doing something that is required on prep until you go to bed, essentially, because you're thinking about sleep, you're thinking about what time you need to wake up, you're thinking about checking in, making your meals, going to work, getting your steps in, your cardio, your workouts. Yes, that's all technically the same for like an off season, but it's just a whole nother level upwards, especially the closer you get to show day as well.
yeah, like thing is checking in when you're checking in daily. That's another thing like
Yeah,
you've got to get up a little bit earlier to check in with your coach and stuff like that. There's so many, or
yeah,
even on like the day before, you're checking in half an hour after every single meal.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
It's an
it's so
extra time
intense.
sink, like because you're like, right, I got to go outside, set the tripod up,
Yeah,
send it over, take 5 to 10 minutes sorting that out.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's very intense. That's the one thing I would say to anyone who hasn't been through it. But it's enjoyable. Like all the time. Obviously, Denny's still in prep at the moment, but when he comes out of it and you look back at like this whole year, you'll be like, that was like you'll feel invincible. Like
yeah,
it's like this tunnel vision where you're like, if I can do that, I can literally do
yeah. It's
anything.
almost like a slingshot out of it. In
Yeah,
fact, that's kind of how I'm envisioning it anyway. Kind of like I've done the hard work, if you
yeah,
can call it that. Like it's all hard work, just on a different side of the spectrum, sort of thing. But yeah, it just kind of uplifts you. It's like, right, now what? I was speaking to Kieran in the gym today. He was like, "Oh, what's next?" It's like, well, another show first and foremost, and then after that we go again, and then obviously into the end of the summer, end of the year, it's just set the next goal.
yeah.
Whereas if that wasn't there, it kind of just makes it a bit vague.
Yeah, that's another thing I would actually touch on is making sure that when you do come out of prep, you have got direction,
Yeah,
and there is a direction on where you need to go after that. Because that, if you don't have direction, I've found a lot of people spiral, and it
yeah,
gets very hard, and that means the reverse usually gets fucked because people look for temporary dopamine hits through food,
yeah,
and they just struggle. So make sure you have got that direction as soon as possible. And I'd always say like after prep, take 1 or 2 days off, like just decompress, even if
yeah,
it's you know just taking a little bit of time off the gym, time off like going and do your cardio. Like 1 or 2 days is not going to kill you,
yeah,
but make sure you've got a plan in place ready so you can get the reverse underway.
yeah, definitely.
I've got a question from Abigail Lucas. She has asked, show day recap. What went really well? How are you both feeling now? I suppose we've kind of already
Yeah,
answered it, but do you want to give like a kind of a roundup answer from a athlete's perspective on like how the show went?
as in the actual show or my part in the show.
Both. Give us both.
I mean, I've been to a few shows like a long time ago, but this was just like in terms of the organization, it just seemed to run pretty smoothly. Everything was kind of like clockwork. Everyone knew kind of where they was going, what they was doing at what time. So yeah, shout out to them. It was ran really well, and everyone was really welcoming. In terms of how it went for me, obviously we spoke on that. It probably could have gone better had I posed correctly 100% of the time on stage. But yeah, like more than happy with the result. Fair play to the guys that come first and second. Like they smashed it, and obviously everyone else there as well. So yeah, overall, what went well was, I guess me and Max was there communicating that the entire day. If I had a question, it'd be like, "Am I doing this? Am I doing that?" Or you'd obviously just give me direction there. Oh, there's a giant wasp that's just come in the room. Great. Um, yeah,
Actually, just saw it in front of the camera.
yeah. So yeah, like that, the day just went smoothly, pretty much. And then obviously afterwards, it was just like this mass dopamine just hit that probably lasted about 4 hours.
Yeah. And then you got home and you were like
Yeah,
wide
I was
awake.
literally. I don't think I went to bed till about 1 a.m.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ. Yeah, it is always hard to decompress after a show.
yeah,
But even like the vibes and the journey home was just,
it was
we had
good.
some
Yeah,
bangers playing in the car and just
yeah,
chatting and just having a laugh, and like it's such a nice vibe. And obviously, yeah, like just getting home and everything. But yeah, I think in my perspective, the show was run really well. As it usually is with the UK FBA, they never really miss out when it comes to running their shows. They're absolutely brilliant at that. I always like Lee on the mic as well. I just think he always adds just that bit of I don't know. He takes it. Obviously, it's a very intense show for a lot of athletes, but I think he does
yeah,
calm the nerves a little
yeah. He
bit.
dulls it down a little bit with his
Yeah,
humor. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. So he's always great, and I think it was well judged. There wasn't anything where I was like, that's not quite right. Like I think all the judging was spot on.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, we're both feeling good now. We've obviously got things we need to work on, but they're very very minor things, which is the best thing. Like it's not like you're outshone in being majorly out conditioned or
yeah.
completely didn't fit the class. Like no, we know you're in a good spot. We know that men's physique is where you belong. It's just making, like you said, the refinements now. Which is going to be the next title of my next YouTube video. So look for that.
Yeah, yeah.
um,
That was good.
Got a
Um,
question from Lewis Raymond. Is it Lewis or Louis?
Louis,
Louis, I apologise, mate. I had a nice chat with him in the gym yesterday.
nice.
Um, Even though I asked him if Cucurella was the best left back in the Premier League, and he told me he doesn't watch football. So
Yeah.
I was like, your ball knowledge is horrendous, bro. Um, but yeah, he's asked, do you get more inspiration from the people you surround yourself with over influencers slash pros?
I'd say for me it's an even split
Yeah,
because I do involve myself a lot with obviously influencers, whether that be through YouTube or just content that I consume. But yeah, just other people around, especially in the gym that we're in, like everyone's kind of doing the same thing. So it is nice to go into a gym where like, oh, that person's on prep, that person's smashing it here. So yeah, probably even split.
yeah, yeah. I'd agree. I always get a lot of inspirations from like my clients and stuff. That's probably one thing. Obviously, like the guys in prep when they're digging, like when I felt a bit preppy and I was like, Denny's 2 weeks out, Max, get the fuck on with it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, if you feel like shit, imagine how
Yeah,
you
I
feel. And
mean,
then,
in fairness, there was a point where I was still eating more food than you.
yeah, true, true. But I was always just like, right, kind of get a grip, like get on with it,
Yeah,
because you've got boys in prep who are leaner than you, and you know they're going to be feeling it more than you right now.
yeah.
But yeah, um, got a question from Josh. He's asked, how many kilos of cream of rice and oats do you consume in a year?
Oh, oats, like silly amount.
I actually calculated how much cream of rice I eat a year. This is a rough estimate.
Go on.
Uh, it was like 36,500 grams, which is like 36.5 kilos.
That's a lot of cream of rice. That's a lot of cream
I'm
of
made out
rice.
of cream of rice, boy.
He is the cream of rice boy. Yeah. To be honest, I've kind of pulled down the amount of cream of rice I'm eating. It's just kind of reverted back to oats.
Hates
So
cream of
yeah,
rice, man.
oats is just unreal.
Do
Like,
you find cream of rice sits better? Because obviously you had a lot more cream of rice leading up to the show.
I find if I have back-to-back meals or more than one meal of cream of rice, no. If it's just one on its own, then yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just the sweeteners because obviously oats is just oats, whereas cream of rice you've got a bit more kind of
Yeah, for sure.
um,
Obviously, your oats though, you've got like the fibre and stuff, which you're trying to pull down a little bit
yeah,
leading up to the show.
But yeah, so far seems to be okay. Haven't shit myself yet, so.
Thank God.
Another one from Louis. Has this show season made the client coach relationship stronger between you and Max? I'll let
I'll
you
let you
answer that.
answer that.
Oh, no,
But
because we can't answer a question.
yeah,
Um, I'd say yes. Obviously, we've done a podcast together as well, which I think has helped, but I think that's only come through us working together for a longer period of time. Obviously, I think it's coming up to 2 years
yeah, close
soon.
to it.
Yeah, so very, very soon it'll be 2 years. We've probably done over 2 years in total, because there
Yeah,
was a brief period before, wasn't there? So yeah, obviously communication is good, and yeah, we pretty much chat every day
yeah.
at this point.
I think like last year really solidified like the coach to client kind
Yeah,
of relationship in a way, and like you could even argue like a friend relationship as well,
yeah,
right? Like
yeah,
me and Denny, we have this podcast and we chat like we're mates. And we obviously off podcast as well. We chat about things going on in our lives because
yeah,
it's just what happens. Like you develop these relationships. But I think
yeah,
being able to go through what happened last year and break through that when I know like with you, you were like umming and ahhing about whether even to continue to bodybuild. So like
yeah,
obviously, the coaching process on that would have been another thing that you were probably umming and ahhing about.
yeah,
But we worked through it and we've got another prep underway and you done really well. So I think yeah, I can't remember who I said this to on the show day, but I said I think like the podcast has really helped you in your prep because it's just like an hour of just it's kind of like therapy in a way because you're
it's
just chatting.
literally, yeah,
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 I think I might have said it to Scott actually. I was like, I think the podcast has really helped him, and it's helped
yeah,
me as well. Like just
yeah. I think in
chatting.
general it's just time spent, and I think that's one thing to take. Like a lot of people will hop coaches because
Yeah,
they're not getting the result, or maybe the relationship hasn't bonded, and therefore the result isn't happening as a result. But it just kind of shows you that the longer you spend with something, you're going to get more out of it because you become a bit more in tune with each other. Like I can kind of tell what you're going to tell me before you tell me, and probably vice versa.
yeah,
So it just makes both of our decision making that little bit easier. And there's also, yes, we're friends, but there is that mutual respect there as well. So it's just like, yep, cool, that's what we're doing. So there's both positives to it because it is professional and it is also casual, if
yeah.
you want to call it that.
I actually prefer that method of coaching. I
Yeah,
feel like that I obviously I've got a variance of clients, right? And some talk to me maybe once a week, and then some
yeah,
talk to me on a daily basis. And obviously, I leave that up to the client on how much they want to kind of involve themselves.
yeah,
But I always find the people who get the most results are usually the ones who talk to me more frequently,
yeah,
and that you end up formalizing this relationship where they feel more comfortable to tell you literally anything, right?
yeah,
And what people don't understand is sometimes that anything external will affect your bodybuilding.
yeah, because it is part of the internal.
Yeah,
Because if it's affecting you in some way, it's gonna affect either your training, your sleep, your food, your stress, your health, finance, whatever it is. It might just be, I don't know. It could be anything.
yeah,
Your microwave's broken or something. Like
yeah,
it could be something so what you think is minor, but if the coach knows it, it can be like, okay, we'll do this, we'll do that instead.
yeah, yeah. It's my preferred method. Like all the guys that I've prepped, I've always been fairly close to.
Yeah,
I've never just sent out directions and then that'd be it. Like usually there's always constant communication back and forth
yeah,
multiple times a day, and I've just found that it works better.
yep, literally.
So um, Mr. James likes it hard, Limpford, my guy. Any tweaks being made into the next peak for the WMBF? Um, I'll let you go ahead with that.
Posing and smiling,
Yeah,
which is part of the posing, I suppose. Yeah, already working on that. Jumped on with Kez today, actually, which was fairly productive. And it's mainly just not trying to contract everything but my abs so hard. And yeah, it's just a little bit of flow, a little bit of presentation. And I think that will come anyway, just because the confidence will be there, the nerves won't be there. Yes, I'm still going to be nervous because it is technically, you could argue, a more competitive show because I'm now not a first timer. Um, but it should help with just know what needs to be done as opposed to, oh, this is all brand new. I'm on stage. What do I do?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Just for like a little bit of context for anyone who wasn't obviously at the show, Denny just struggled a little bit with like midsection control and flexing his abs on stage.
yeah,
And you'll probably see that in the YouTube video as well, because when he was checking in the morning, his abs were like fully flexed the
yeah,
whole time, and then on stage he was just relaxing the midsection a little bit, which,
yeah,
like I said to you, I think it was just nerves.
yeah. Like
Maybe not even nerves, just like
I
I
was
don't know.
so focused on where my feet were, where the judges were, what my obliques were doing, and I just forgot about my abs pretty much.
It's all good, bro. I mean, still come third place and not even
Yeah,
touching
like
your abs. That's
the
not
fact
bad.
that that was off, and that's probably a really important part of men's physique. I'll take it.
But yeah, in terms of the peak, potentially a little bit of a like touch sharper, even though your body weight hasn't really moved too much this week.
Yeah,
But you will just get naturally tighter, even if you're just
yeah.
sitting at a
I will
similar
say
body
like the
weight.
the the shots on the day, I don't think they done me justice with how lean I was.
No, if you look back at the video when I put it on YouTube, you'll be
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah, I
Okay.
was lean. And
Yeah.
I said that to you as soon as you come on stage. I was like,
Yeah.
the only thing there is posing. And I was like,
Yeah.
condition, we're pretty
Yeah.
much
So I'd
there.
say I think everyone sort of agreed with this mutually as well. Guy that come first, he was just nails in terms of the shape, the structure,
Yeah,
and holding his poses, and that's why he won. Maybe not as sharp as, definitely not as sharp as second place because he was pretty peeled. Um, so yeah, there's obviously two sides of it. You had someone who was just what they were looking for in terms of shape, structure, and posing, and then you had someone who comes second who was just a lot sharper, and then obviously me who couldn't pose properly.
but yeah, Denny was in condition. So
Yeah,
we don't have to worry too much about that. You, as the shows progress, we're pushing you a little bit at the moment, having a few low days to
yeah,
obviously get a little bit sharper for the next show. But in terms of the peak, I think the peak went very well. Like I was really
yeah,
happy with how you were looking
yeah.
up until you stepped on stage.
Probably the only thing that I would change is how much I pumped up. I feel like I didn't pump up enough because because she was like, "Don't gas yourself out," and obviously I've never properly pumped up pre-stage with what we ran, and obviously now we've done that. I think I could probably get away with doing a bit more because I was like, I don't want to sweat, I don't want to gas
Yeah,
myself out, so I was probably a little bit reserved, especially back like after I left you as well. I sort of like because there wasn't really much room to pump up either. Once we was in that corridor, it was a bit
yeah,
sort of cramped. And I just started doing a few press ups on the floor, and like everyone was sort of looking at me. It's like, well, if no one else can do it, I'm gonna do
yeah.
it.
Why not? Yeah, yeah. That could be a thing as well. We just, but if like, I just didn't want you to get on stage and be like,
Puffing, yeah,
yeah, like because you've just
yeah,
been absolutely doing a fucking full
yeah,
workout backstage, you know.
yeah,
But yeah, in terms of the peak, probably be a shorter peak as well. 'Cause obviously it's on stage on the Saturday, so it'll probably be like a less of a linear load, but it'll still be very very similar to how we peaked
yeah,
it. I might actually do a YouTube video tomorrow just discussing your peak week and how we
yeah.
operated that. Um, James Linford has also asked, what was handsome boy Den Dog's most excited slash nervous about at the UKDFBA?
So the most nervous part, which was probably really apparent to everyone, and some of the pictures picked it up. When I first got there, my brain just went fucking haywire. Like I was like, "What is going on?" I think it must have been about an hour. I was sat on that floor with my eyes closed the entire time.
Got some really cool photos out of it though.
Yeah. And like I said hello to everyone briefly, but I felt quite rude. But at the same time, I was like, I feel like I can't talk, and it sounds really strange. The only way I can describe it is there was probably 30 conversations happening around me, and I could hear all of them in my ears. So I was just like, I just need to close my eyes. It wasn't
Did you feel
necessarily
like,
like me thinking about the stage. It was just everything that was going on around me. I was like, no, this is too much. I just need to sit down.
yeah, did you feel like overstimulated in a
Oh
way?
yeah, like
Yeah,
my brain just went loopy.
yeah.
Yeah,
I,
it was a lot.
I think it probably was you walked in the venue and went, "Holy shit, I'm actually going to do this."
Literally, it's like 19, well, basically at that point it's 20 weeks. I was like, 20 weeks, I'm now actually here. what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then yeah, what was the second half of that question? What was the best bit?
Most excited about.
I guess I was most excited after the fact it was done. I was just like on cloud nine. It was just great. Yeah, I think most excited was just to capture the day
Yeah.
through David, I guess, because that was what I was mainly interested in. Because obviously, my version of events in terms of how I visualize it is going to be from my head. But if I can see that from an external videos, photos, and other people's kind of recollection of it, that's what I was excited for, and it's kind of come across in what I've seen so far.
Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna enjoy the video, man. You're really gonna enjoy it. David's absolutely killed it.
Nice.
Um, Josh Dandy, the Dandelion, has asked how many celebratory strawberries and cream Pepsi Maxes has Cherry had post show?
I had a Pepsi Max, just a normal one.
Yeah, you
That's like
did. I
I
had
was.
the strawberries and cream.
You did, yeah. I don't know why. Like I was just like, I need bubbles.
Yeah,
So yeah, none for me, but just a normal Pepsi Max. I've had actually quite a few questions on that, either from clients or just people. They was like, "What was your post-show binge?" I was like, "I didn't."
a bowl of oats.
Literally, a bowl of oats and a white chocolate brownie thing, which was
Yeah,
probably like that big.
yeah, yeah. That
So
was lovely to watch at 16 weeks out.
yeah, to be honest, like it was enjoyable, but I enjoyed the oats more just because it actually filled me up.
Yeah, yeah. You
Like,
probably ate it and was like, "That's done." Like,
yeah, that
I
was
actually need
like
a proper
probably
meal.
the first time in prep where I've been like, I was quite satisfied with that meal. Like,
Yeah,
I didn't think about, I wasn't like, oh, my next meal was in the morning. It was just like, oh, I've had a decent sized meal. So, yeah, we'll be doing that again
yeah.
at the very least.
Yeah, to be honest, like I think that's the best way to go.
Yeah,
Like post show, like maybe after your last show, it's like okay, go out and have a proper meal, or
yeah,
get whatever you want. But between shows, just keep it really simple.
yeah,
Have what you've been having.
yeah. Because obviously you do see a lot of that in between shows. People are like, oh, I'm a bit watery, and because X, Y, it's like, you probably shouldn't have just inhaled 2 days
Yeah,
worth of food.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if you watched AJ's video, but he like nailed it on the head really, and he was like. I'm not going to have an off-plan meal. Yes, I competed today, but I'm also 3 weeks out. I wouldn't cheat on my diet when I was 3 weeks out, so why do I do it
Exactly.
now?
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously that people will like to enjoy something post show.
Yeah.
Each to their own.
Each to their own.
Roshan has asked any adjustments being made for the next show.
Just posing.
Yeah, just posing. That maybe like you're always going to get better and better as the
Yeah.
shows go on.
Like if I'm not any leaner and we present the same package, I'll be happy with that,
Yeah,
to be
I
honest.
think if you're literally in the same condition but your posing's better, I think that's
Yeah.
literally a very very solid goal,
Yeah.
especially with the very short time frame available. We had to be careful and cautious over the start of this week because obviously you've literally just competed on the Monday. It's like okay, just like decompress a little bit. There's always going to be this huge flux of like dopamine over the first couple of days, and then that will taper off. So you've
Yeah.
just got to obviously bear that in mind. And we are back to digging now, I
Yeah. I
suppose
mean,
you'd
it
call it.
was like, yeah, the day after, I was just like, I felt pretty, obviously, probably over the day, it was way more food than I was eating. Um, and yeah, I just felt like this, first walk that I went on, I felt like I was like running down the
Right.
road. Next day, I was like, I feel a bit more like and then by the third day, I was like, oh, I'm on prep again.
Yeah, I'm back in prep now. But yeah, like in terms of adjustments, very, very minimal. Maybe a bit tighter, but getting that posing nailed, and yeah, it'll be an exciting look for sure. He's also asked emotions before getting on stage and post stage.
Okay, so pre-stage, I'm gonna go from pumping, well, just before pumping up, so just before knowing that I was about to go on. Whilst I was watching the show, it kind of hit me again. So headphones went in for probably about 20 minutes, and I was just trying to visualize how it was gonna go, even though I didn't know. So it was just kind of just me trying to sort of calm myself a little bit. Then went backstage, looked at everyone, and I think Max saw me look at everyone. I was like, "Oh shit,
Yeah, and
this ain't gonna go well."
I was like, look, get over here,
Yeah.
face that way,
Yeah,
get
I'm
pumped
quite
up.
glad I went into that corner anyway. It was just like a nice little spot. But yeah, I was sort of like looking around, and obviously there's always going to be someone bigger. And we knew that anyway. I'm not like a ginormous person. I'm literally like 160 pounds wet. Um, so yeah, I was like looking around, I was like, nah, there's no chance. And I got in my head a little bit, and then I started pumping up, and then I switched on a bit. I was like, come on, we can do this sort of thing. And then by the time I got into the corridor slash backstage, it was like, I'm here now.
Yeah,
I
just do it.
wasn't nervous at that point. Even when I walked out, like I knew what I needed to do. Yes, it didn't completely go to plan, but it wasn't like, oh my God, like I'm on stage. What's going on? It was, which I was quite happy with. And yeah, the post stage emotions was just relief in a weird way, like from my own internal pressure. Um, yeah, and just like happy tears, really.
Yeah,
It was just yeah, it was just like this explosion of emotion. That's the only way I can kind of describe it,
yeah, yeah. It was good. It was good.
and almost made
Not
Max cry.
yeah, nearly. You were close. You were close. I was like, you came out and I saw your eyes and I was like, nope, no. Yeah, but honestly, like, there's no better feeling than seeing that. And do you know what? I said to Kate on, I think maybe Monday or Tuesday, I was like, nothing beats that feeling for me.
Yeah,
Like, not even myself getting on stage beats that feeling of just seeing a client do well and just knowing that I was part of that process. Like, that is just an incredible feeling.
yeah,
Um, so if anything, it's just solidified my passion even more of
yeah.
helping people
It did
achieve
me
that.
as well. It kind of made me think like, no, this is for me because obviously there's because I've never competed before. There was that edge of doubt, maybe like a few percent doubt. It's like, is this actually for me? And it just solidified it. It's like, no, yeah, this is for me, which has just helped with my focus and drive moving forward as well, which I'm
Yeah,
quite happy
watch
about.
your off season, bro. It's gonna
Yeah,
be it's gonna be exciting.
we're gonna turn back into Delt Fit.
Delta Fit, yeah. Jesus. Um, Joey Stevo. I don't know if you follow this guy, mate.
Don't
He's
recognise
a
it. Yeah.
first timer junior bodybuilder for next weekend. He's looking very, very good. So best of luck, Joey. Looking really good, mate. He's put best and worst thing about a natty, about being natty, not about a natty.
um, Best thing you get to say that you're natty.
Yeah, it's like a card.
Yeah. Um, and if on the odd occasion someone might go, "You're not natty," it's happened quite rarely for me, like maybe like 3 times in my entire life. But if you actually saw me in person, you'll realise that I am 100% natty. Um, yeah. Worst part is again being natty.
Yeah, yeah. You're not gonna be like,
Yeah, like you're not gonna
mm,
like put on unless you're like this genetic freak, which you'll know before you start training anyway. Yeah, you're not gonna make look at AJ Morris as an example. The man that's probably the most on it you could ever be between shows and an extended period of time. Yes, he's massively improved, but he's not put on 20 kilos of muscle.
yeah,
Um, I think he's probably similar weight. Yes, he's a lot harder, a lot denser. Um, but yeah, it's the worst part is just I guess how long it takes, but that's part of it. That's part
yeah,
of why we do it because it's like every kind of thing that I'm doing is leaning towards that kind of that small gain.
yeah, yeah. Do you know what as well? It is cool to see like how much natural bodybuilding has grown as well. So obviously,
Yeah,
I did a natural show 6 years ago, right, in my first ever show, and like even the standard from then to now, it's just elevated so much, and it's
yeah,
like it's just so cool to see because it's like I feel like naturals are starting to get a lot more of a spotlight now in this industry. And you see a lot of like natty guys, they're getting sponsorships and they're getting,
yeah,
supplement sponsors, clothing sponsors, and it's like that's so cool to see because yes, they're not freaks, but they're getting the attention that they
yeah.
deserve.
But within the natty scene, they are freaks. Like
Yeah, true.
there was some wicked physiques there. Like you're sort of looking at them, it's like what the hell. Which you know that they're not like these genetic Olympians on top of that, but you're like, wow, that's incredible. Especially but some of them, they're like 20 years old and they're just like,
Freaks. Yeah.
yeah, just crazy, which is again just highlights and hopefully shows more people what is capable.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Should
anyone can
be
do it
in
really.
the safer side of it, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
no hate towards assisted bodybuilding, but if you go down that route, that's a route you're going to be taking for the rest of your life, and you need to
Yep.
accept that. You need to accept that you're probably taking years off your life.
Yep.
Um,
Literally.
but Joey's also asked most pointless optimal exercise.
Optimal.
Pointless optimal exercise.
Kind of like, as much as I've done it in the past, probably banding exercises.
Yeah, I would say
It's
like
massive. It's just one of the. It's like a shiny object syndrome. Like there's phases within optimal training that I don't know what is the trendy one at the moment. It's probably fatigue management is probably the big kind of trendy thing at the moment.
can't say the
Um,
word fatigue, bro. Doesn't
yeah,
exist.
it doesn't exist. But yeah, probably banding. It definitely has its place, but I don't. I see some people when they're banding things. It's more so when they don't know why they're banding something
Or
from
they're
like a,
banding it incorrectly, or
yeah,
it's too
the
much.
whole point of it is to make an even resistance profile, not to slingshot it out of the bottom. It's not
Yeah,
what it's there for. And obviously, you still got to train hard anyway. So you could argue, yes, even if you are slingshotting it, but you're still going to failure, it's probably creating a very similar result.
yeah. I always found like reverse banding presses, which I did run for a very short period of time, but I look back at it now and I'm like, that was so pointless.
Yeah, like it does and it doesn't make sense because obviously you're strongest down there anyway, and you want the most tension down there anyway. So why are you taking it away from down there?
Yeah,
Yes, you can then maybe safely get out of the rep a bit more because you've had that assistance at the bottom, so you can complete the next full rep, but your body doesn't know whether you finished here or finished there. So
yeah, yeah. I think like the whole thought process was that you're overloading or putting more load on the area that is stronger, or but then the kind of
yeah, but you're joint stacking by that point anyway.
yeah, your joint stacking and also that range fatigues earlier.
Yeah,
So it's kind of like counterintuitive in a way. And
yeah,
that's why obviously a lot of people have now gone to the lengthened based training because it's like, well, the lengthened range doesn't fatigue as early as the shorter
yeah.
range.
I think even that is probably over complicated.
Yeah,
Like just train hard, forget
yeah,
about it for the most part. Like
yeah,
just learn actually what you need to do, and then if you want to kind of fall into a bit of a niche, cool, that's fine. But like yourself, like me, I don't really think about those things when I'm training anymore. It's just like, how can I safely take this set to where I need to take it? And when I say safe, I mean don't break bones and snap things. Not like, oh, is this gonna make me written off for a couple of hours? Because that shouldn't really be in your mind because training's hard. It's supposed to be hard.
yeah,
You manage it in other ways. Obviously, don't completely destroy yourself. Like it's all well and good doing a couple of sets on a hack, but if you've done 10 sets on a hack squat, you're just being stupid at that point.
yeah, yeah, and they won't be quality sets.
No.
To be honest, even with my training now, I don't really over analyze like
Yeah.
resistance profiles or anything
Yeah.
anymore. Like obviously, if I'm using a prime piece, I'll use my knowledge to,
Yeah.
set up a resistance
But
profile that's favourable, but
whether
I
it's
won't
set one to
obsess
set
over it.
three, like you're still training hard,
Yeah,
even if you're changing the resistance profile on that machine. Like
yeah,
that doesn't change. That is the minimum standard.
yeah. And even like a few weeks ago, I changed the resistance profile on how I do my top set on the prime incline, and it's just because it felt better that
Yeah.
way. And I was like, well, sound. I'm gonna stop loading all on the middle pin for my first set, and I'm gonna load a plate on the top pin and two plates on the middle, and it
Yeah.
feels really good. And I was like,
There you go. And
sounds
that's another
like
thing. If you enjoy it a little bit more and it feels better, you're probably going to run it and probably train it a bit harder.
yeah, for sure. Another question from Joey. He's asked, worst fad you've seen in fitness wise?
Um, Ozempic.
Zempic. Yeah. Do people really, I suppose there are influencers that are using it.
It
Um,
has its place, but I think it doesn't teach you anything personally.
no, I feel like they're not sustainable. Because don't you have to be on it for life?
But if you want the desired effect, which is essentially so you don't eat as much, yeah.
Yeah. You have to
Again,
you have to be on it.
it's not teaching you portion control. It kind of is, but it's not naturally. Like you're not doing that. Something is doing that for you. When a lot of food, a lot of dieting, a lot of anything, it becomes the mindset, not as opposed to actually what's in front of you. So if it's not teaching you how to do something and it's giving you the result without you having to do something, if and when you decide to come off it, and there are obviously negatives to being on it because it's not actually made for that, which is a whole nother story. You're just potentially, if you come off it, you're just going to go back to the same habits, and then you're like, oh, well, I'm back here again.
Yeah.
So, what was the point?
Yeah. It's yeah, it has its place. I think if you struggle to lose weight and you know, I don't
But
know.
losing weight is not easy, like, and
No,
that's what
losing.
annoys me. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, I can't do it because it's difficult. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get a
I
grip.
think, yeah. I think maybe if you are like obese and you need to get the weight off quick, and you
Yeah, from like a health
can't
standpoint, but
can't control it.
educating the person who is
Yeah.
taking it, it needs to be at the forefront because there
Yeah.
isn't a lot of education on it.
No, it's just like take this shot and you'll be sound.
Yeah,
Or whatever it. Then it's
because
just
there's money in that pharmaceutical realm at the moment because you
yeah.
can even go to like aesthetic clinics now and they offer it out. It's not just doctors. They can literally get a license for it and offer it out to anyone,
What the fuck?
which is
That's
mad.
mental. I didn't
Which
even
is
know that.
just it's that at that point.
Worrying times.
Yeah, morally it's wrong. And
Yeah.
whilst I am not the moral fairy, I'm saying it's morally wrong.
I'm trying to think of another fad that's happened.
Um,
There's probably loads of things that you just watch and you go, "Fucking hell, what is this?"
I mean, I wouldn't call it a fad, but like protein labeling on food.
Yeah.
Because I saw a reel the other day. Just released a new Baby Bell, and it's this high protein Baby Bell. It's got 6 more calories and zero point 0.4 more grams of protein per Baby Bell.
So it's fucking useless
It's
then, yeah.
basically the same,
Yeah, it's basically a baby bell. Useless.
but it's got a label on it that says protein.
Yeah, like I'm not being funny. If you're a bodybuilder and you're buying a
And you're
fucking protein
relying
baby
on
bell,
Baby Bells.
yeah, you're. Do you know what? I'm gonna trigger a few people here. I'm gonna have to say it.
Go on, go.
These protein puddings and protein bagels and like just fucking get a grip.
Just eat.
Like,
Like I think they have their place if you want a little bit of flexibility in your diet. But if you're getting, I don't even know what percentage I could say here. A percentage. I'm not going to put a number out there because obviously everyone's slightly different. But just eat food.
alright, if you're having more than one a day,
Yeah,
just please just have a look at
yeah,
consuming something else.
yeah. Because one, it's not going to fill you up. It's modified in a way that replicates. It's got the name pudding in it for a start, which if you're struggling to lose weight, is probably not the right food for you to be consuming anyway, because it's probably going to trigger other hunger responses. It's sweet, it's chocolatey, it's whatever it is. It's not really serving its purpose, and it's probably not
I've always
quality
just thought like
protein either.
just have a bowl of yogurt with some fruit.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot more volume out of it. Your body's probably going to digest it a lot better,
And if you
and
want more protein, add some whey.
it's cheaper
Yeah.
because you buy a tub of Greek yogurt. Yes, a tub of Faye Greek yogurt is fucking expensive, but you buy 6 tubs of protein pots. It's probably cost you about a tenner.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah. And he's also asked. Joey's on a
He's on it.
podcasting
I'm
streak.
gonna have to give him a follow just
You're gonna
for the
have to.
sheer amount of
He's a
questions.
nice kid actually. I was he messaged me the other day because he's been following along with my YouTube stuff and he's yeah, he's competing next weekend. So I'm excited
He
to see him
looks
in the
pretty
junior class.
wild.
Yeah, he's looking very good. Very good. Um, but yeah, he's asked for a JP Core and Perform tier list.
Now, I can't give a JP
Cream of
review
rice.
because I've tried one, two, three, 4 flavors. Number one for me is banoffee, but I can't really comment. Banoffee, maple. What was the one that you gave me?
Custard cream.
Custard cream, and then sticky toffee pudding, which is at the bottom just because it's
Yeah.
the worst one.
Right. I'm gonna go. I've tried quite a few actually.
Go top four.
Top four. All right, top four. I would, for me at the moment, custard cream is at the top. Then second, it'll be maple syrup. Third would then be just the standard chocolate. The chocolate fudge one tastes really artificial.
Okay.
Um, fourth would probably be, I'm going to be really boring here and say vanilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, sticky toffees. I've got it at the moment, but it's not
Yeah. Like it's
great.
that's probably why I've not used it as much, just because it tastes okay,
Yeah,
but I'm like, this isn't great. It
yeah.
doesn't
Do
taste
you
like
know what?
sticky
It's one of
toffee.
those things that I like in a prep, but then as
Yeah.
soon as I get out of prep, I'm like, this is grim.
Yeah. It just kind of tastes like a gingery chocolate, which I
Yeah,
guess was the vibe they was going for.
yeah. But I haven't really tried many else. I don't think. Oh no, I've had the white chocolate coconut. Don't like that. Coconut tasted awful. Um, cherry bakewell is alright as well. Yeah.
What about the form?
Perform.
This is a tough one.
This is a tough one.
I've
Actually,
reverted back to my because I've gone through a phase in this entire prep of trying probably a different flavour every time it runs out. But I recently ordered salted caramel again, and that goes straight back to the top.
does it?
Yep, straight back to the top.
Yeah, salted caramel is good. I feel like you just can't go wrong with either just triple chocolate or like your standard kind of your salted caramels, your triple chocolates. Yeah, triple chocolate is definitely my top for
Yeah.
perform. Um, second, where are we placing second?
Uh,
White choc's good.
white chocolate hazelnut is good.
No,
That'll
don't like.
probably go second. Then quite like the orange one. I had a sample of that, and that was decent. You don't like Terry's chocolate orange though, do you? So yeah, we'll go with that one for third. And then fourth, we will go with cherry bakewell because it goes really good with almond bar. It's like a marzipan cherry bakewell explosion.
If you like marzipan, get the baklava one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just tastes. Do you know the best? It tastes nothing like a baklava,
Okay.
but
Good.
it tastes like Angel Delight cake. You know, like the Mr. Kipling's, like the small,
Yeah. Yeah.
the rectangular little
Yeah.
lunch bites ones. It literally tastes like one of them.
Okay. Okay.
Because I said I got Kate to try it yesterday. Because she's now back on plan. By the way, you've motivated her to get back on
I
plan.
saw that. I was like, was I inspiration? I was
Yeah,
gonna say that,
she
but
she watched she watched Bikini Girls and she was like, hmm.
that's sick. That's
So
exciting.
yeah,
Prep.
yeah. If she
2026 prep.
yeah, if she you know what, she's been on it like all week and she's been like, I could prep with you. I'm like, no, Kate, you've got like two raves to go to. You got a holiday. I'm like, you can't compete in 15 weeks.
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
need
you
to
have to
get
come.
a routine first before you jump into a prep. You can't
Yeah,
just go prep and that's my routine. I mean,
yeah.
maybe she could. Like, I'm not going to speak for her, but
She's a bit all or nothing basically.
yeah,
But yeah, so I was like, yeah, no, you can't compete in the same show as me because you won't be ready. I'm like, you'd have to go on dust protocol for the next 15
yeah.
weeks.
Which is then not going to bring the best package, and then
Yeah.
she might be like,
But
"Oh,
look,
what you
she's
have done?"
she's she dusted off her heels, so potentially she could make her return after a 4 year
Hiatus.
hiatus, which would be exciting. But
Mm.
yeah, anyway, the baklava way she said it, she agreed with me. It does taste like the angel
I
delight
might
cake.
have to pinch a sample off you with
Yeah,
trade.
have some if you want. You'll probably get some next week or whatever. But yeah, I'd probably go top one, triple choc. Second, salted caramel. Third, I'm gonna say the sweet and salted popcorn in third.
Okay.
That one is banging. That with fruit is unreal. Like I literally, my first meal on a train day is some frozen raspberries with that way on it. Unreal.
Nice.
Um, third, fourth. What am I gonna go fourth? Carrot cake maybe, even though I haven't had it in ages.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
Yeah, I don't know if I have a fifth. There's so many good ones, but you
Oh yeah,
find they
it's like
all
what
very
40 flavors now.
yeah they taste very much the same. Like a lot of them,
Yeah.
like they're all off the same base. If it's a chocolate base, it's obviously off the triple chocolate base, right? If it's
Yeah, of
like a
course.
salted caramel, it's obviously off like a vanilla-y base, right? And then
Yeah.
they're all very similar, but
Yeah, probably the color of it tricks your brain a little bit as well.
yeah, like the red velvet one, I was like, this better be red, and it
Yeah, it's
wasn't.
kind
I
of
was
like
like,
it's got like a pinky tinge to it, isn't it?
yeah. I remember like there's an old whey called MTS whey, and that was you could get a red velvet one of that, and that was literally red.
Yeah. Oh
That
wow.
was banging. That
Yeah, I
was
think
really
the
good.
was it Rule One? I don't know whether they're still about.
Yeah.
Theirs was the same, I think.
Yeah, it was just red, wasn't it? Yeah,
Yeah,
where are they? They've like dropped off the.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The
Perform
the
Claim
the,
just
the two big boys
top.
at the minute is obviously Perform and Naughty Boy.
Yeah, I don't find Naughty Boy mixes as well as Perform though.
Yeah, I considered changing, but I just didn't want to spend like
Don't do it.
50 quid and then regret it.
Don't do it. It goes into that like snotty texture rather than like sludge texture, I
Yeah,
find.
it's kind of like stringy,
Yeah, yeah.
not one.
But that's all my questions, mate. Have you got any more?
I think there's a couple. Do.
Jesus, we've been going for 55 minutes.
Yeah. This one's from Josh. Go-to songs for a routine on stage. Unfortunately, men's physique don't get this privilege, so I can't comment. What would be
Um,
your go-to song without giving away your go-to song?
yeah, how do I give, I don't want to give
What would
mine
be your
away.
number two song?
Yeah. I think for bodybuilding, having something that you can hit a beat to and gives you time to transition. Like if it's a super fast-paced song, you're going to struggle to hit the shots. And
Yeah, and you're
the
gonna
thing is,
rush through it.
what
Yeah,
you want to remember as well is they're your time to get your photos on stage or by yourself. So you kind of want to be in the pose for a good like few seconds each time
yeah,
you hit a shot, and then transition and do some cool transitions. So I always say try and have something that's got a bit of a beat,
yeah.
but not something that's like just just constant beat because you won't
Something
be
you
able to find
wouldn't
a
rave
flow with
to.
it. Yeah, yeah. Don't want drum and bass. Imagine that. Just come out to a ballad or something.
Yeah,
Oh dear. Yeah, that's what I'd say. I'm not going to give away my one. You'll have to come to a show, or you'll have to watch my YouTube video when I eventually compete.
yeah.
Yeah.
Should we wrap it up there?
Yeah. Let's
An
wrap it
hour,
up.
pretty much.
Thank you everyone for listening to the Natty Blueprint podcast. It's been a great episode. Obviously, next week we'll have another hiatus for Denny's second show of the season, but we'll be back for another show recap. So make sure you follow along, follow Denny, follow myself, and we're going to be posting a lot about the whole peak weekend. Obviously, him on show day as well. So yeah, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share on the old Instagram stories if you're feeling good, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.